Good day, or should I say good evening, Father Matt Williams, in my parked car. I hope you are well. Okay, so we continue our Lenten journey, and we're reading day number 8 from St. Louis de Montfort's Preparation for Total Consecration. And today we're looking at temptation. And we could probably spend hours talking about this, but I just want to make 2 simple points, okay, about temptation. The first thing is that when temptation first begins, comes into your mind, a thought or something to that effect, the best thing you can do right away is shut that door. Turn right to Jesus. Turn away from it. The saints teach us that the moment a temptation comes in, if you entertain it for the slightest bit of second, what you're doing is it's like you ever try to push a door tight shut from someone and not let them get in? And all of a sudden, if they can get their foot in, they've got a foothold, if you will, and they can start to work from that and leverage that to push the door open, right? So when we entertain a temptation for a second, we're allowing the enemy, the devil, to put his foot in the door to get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a hold on the door, so that he can then open it up more and more and more. Or it's like the snowball effect, right? Snowball at the very top of a mountain, when it first starts, if you kill it right at the top, it's not going to become anything big. But if you don't, the more it rolls from the top of the mountain down, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Before you know it, you get an avalanche, right? So number one, the thing we want to learn about temptations is you want to stop them at their very root. So when it first comes on, what you need to do is turn right to the Lord and say, Jesus, be with me. Jesus, I love you. Jesus, I give you my life. Jesus, help me. Help me to be strong in you. One of the things that Thomas à Kempis in the Imitation Christ says is that the beginning of all temptations is what? He says it's inconstancy of mind and little confidence in God. In other words, that we're not keeping our minds focused on that we're aliens, right? And our true home is in heaven, so that we're trying to turn back to the Lord, right? And then also that we lack confidence. So like that, where does the confidence in God come from? By living in Him through prayer and also living a virtuous life, living a good life, serving other people. So we have to somehow train our minds to keep going to God throughout the day. Because remember, we're called to pray all the time, right? Pray without ceasing. And the best way to develop that habit of praying all the time is to have very specific moments, an appointment with God, if you will, every day, to make those times for God. So the appointment with God will strengthen us to be able to pray all the time, if you will, to keep our minds focused on the Lord in some capacity. I know it's hard, and if you're at a Bruins game or something like that, it's hard to keep your mind on Christ and on the Lord when people are screaming at you and all this other kind of stuff, right? But even in the midst of that, you're like, Lord, thank you for just be with me. Thank you for being with me at this Bruins game. Help me to keep help me to live my baptismal promises at this game in the midst of the celebration. Hopefully it's a Bruins win, right? The second part is that when you do find yourself being tempted and it's really coming on, renounce it in the name of Jesus. So, I'll just use the 7 deadly sins, right? Pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, and sloth, right? So if you're starting to be tempted by pride, what you say is, in the name of Jesus, I renounce pride. If it's anger, in the name of Jesus, I renounce anger. So you're driving, you're all upset, and you're worked up. In the name of Jesus, I renounce anger. Lust. In the name of Jesus, I renounce lust. Say it's envy. You're jealous of somebody. You're upset that somebody's got something and you don't have it. In the name of Jesus, I renounce envy. Gluttony. So overeating of food, right? In the name of Jesus, I renounce gluttony. Avarice, which is greediness, right? In the name of Jesus, I renounce avarice. And then sloth, which is laziness, right? In the name of Jesus, I renounce sloth. So 2 things, right? 2 basic things of how we can deal with temptation. The first is recognize from the very beginning when it starts, right? Don't let the snowball effect kick in. Don't let them get a foothold in the door. When you recognize it, at that moment, turn to Jesus. Say, Jesus, strengthen me. I love you, Jesus. Help me to live for heaven, right? And then secondly is if it really starting to come on strong, when you become aware of it, renounce it in the name of Jesus and command it to go. Renounce it directly to the cross. Those are 2 little basic things. And certainly, as I mentioned, our prayer life helps us to keep our eyes fixed on Christ, fixed on the goal, which is heaven, and it strengthens us in our confidence in God. God bless you. Have a wonderful night.